Hello. So, today I'm back in an old familiar place. If you've watched a lot of videos of mine, I used to make a lot of videos on this table. And I had to unbury it. I really wanted to be able to come back here and sit down and have a quiet place that I could do some videos. And I made a lot of them here, and just over time started putting all the different tools that I've been using in videos on the table till it was buried. And I just love the way it looked, just full of crystals and stones and bowls and, you know, all that stuff. So I had to clean that out, and I got that done yesterday, day before. So I put a cover over it right away, put out a few of my energy tools, have a lovely bowl of gemstone spheres that I finally put together and cleaned. Yeah. And this one is lots of shungite. Shungite sphere. This is seraphinite, which both are stones that come from Russia. They work well together. And this beautiful heart bowl. So, and of course, the dazzling centerpiece. This is like the fourth one of like a set that I got at the same time. And this one has gone on different adventures with me. I've taken it camping and to a few places that needed a little energy shift where I was going to be staying. And I just get the feel that one or more need to come along. So this one just had a nice bath too, and she's really happy. So she's going to hold space in this room while I clean the rest of it, getting myself organized. But today's mission, if you choose to join me, is to go through some items that I got recently at the store. I'm trying to buy things to put aside just to have a little bit of a stock, because my pantry, you know, it's semi-sufficient. I usually have different canned goods and things and different grains, but I'm being a little bit more cautious with the money and everything too, so I try to buy things when I can find bulk stores that have bulk. And I've been going to Sprouts. That's kind of new to me, and also Trader Joe's, of course. So I do have some freezer items and some frozen veg that I'm not going to take out right now, but any of the bulk items that I get, I like to transfer into some kind of storage. And a lot of things I'm going to be freezing, and there's some other projects that I'll let you in on too when I'm ready with my garden ingredients to do some dehydrating and some canning. Yeah, so I knew how to do things like that a while back, but forgot all the skills. And so if you're interested, I'll be probably doing that. But anyway, let's just start showing you some of these items that I got. I really love maple syrup. I'm definitely not one that uses a lot of sugar anyway. Like, I don't use sugar in my coffee or my tea, but when you need to sweeten a recipe, I use agave or coconut sugar or maple syrup. Being a New England girl, you gotta have the real thing. So this is a Sprouts brand organic maple syrup, dark amber. So whenever I can, I try to buy an extra bottle or can or bag of things. Keep one to use currently, which I'm using, and this one to just put aside. Yep. And I usually get a couple of these. There aren't too many cup noodles that I like because a lot of them have meat flavoring, or they have just way too many ingredients. But this is a good brand. This is a veggie noodles. And it has a little bit of sodium, of course, and a million ingredients, but for a quickie thing, it is vegan, and you can add to it if you like. I sometimes put extra miso and some nori, seaweed, and maybe a couple of shrimp if I'm eating shrimp. So these are really good, quick and handy to have if I'm just busy doing things and then I'm starving all of a sudden and my blood sugar feels like it's crashing. So I can make something like this in just a few minutes. And several of these, which obviously I'm kind of motivated to make my own seasoning blends with the dehydrator and noodles, and dehydrate noodles and put them in, the zip bags and kind of have my own stock. But while I'm getting ready to do all those things, I'm still gonna stock up on the things I can buy as well. I love this. This brand is good. It's organic, and usually I add more spice to it if it's not a spicy one. And it'll tell you up here. 60 seconds in the microwave. I don't microwave it. I just put it in a pot of boiling water and then turn it up and down, and let it get hot inside the bag. And this one is mild. Chana masala, chickpeas with tomato, onion, and spices. So since I was at Trader Joe's, I got some frozen naan. So I like to just thaw one out, put it in the toaster, and then have a chana masala and make a little pot of rice. Very simple, quick and easy. And I also got a Madras lentils. I love lentils. I make them from scratch all the time, but again, just having a convenience food sometimes is like a big reward. And these are pretty healthy. This one's also mild. And then one of my favorites, which I'm gonna make on my own because I'm not crazy about the seasoning of the spinach. I like the paneer. I can make paneer as well. This is sauteed spinach simmered with paneer, which is a homemade cheese. So I'm starting to make my own yogurt and sourdough, and I'm going to do the cheese and then cream cheese and some kefir. Starting to do some fermenting. Just trying to get more nutrients in my food because I don't know, lately the food hasn't really tasted very good from the store. We have that, and then lots of bagged things. I always keep a variety of these in the cabinets. So we have organic split peas. Split peas. Black beans. Garbanzo beans. And some quinoa. some chia as well. I forgot. Tricolor quinoa. And I will eventually move all of these into the airtight storage, because this does have air, which over time is not good for stored stuff. So I will be transferring these into the bags, and then I'll just cut off the label and tape it onto the front of the bag. Most things I'll know what they are, but still. The other interesting thing about buying bags of these organic beans and peas is that you can use them to grow plants. And just soak them in water for an hour or two or overnight and then plant them. So I'm going to grow garbanzo, black beans. I have quinoa seeds that I ordered before I realized I could do this. And of course the split peas aren't going to grow because they're split. But you could get peas. You could buy peas and plant them. And I was watching a video, and this guy and his son actually got one of those 10 bean bags that you make soup from. And it had all these different seeds and beans and peas and whatever, and they took them all out, and they separated them all out, and they planted all of them, and everything germinated. It was crazy. Yeah. So they didn't go much further than that. They were all sprouts, but they didn't show anything later in the season yet. And this is some raw pumpkin seeds. It doesn't say raw, but it says unroasted and unsalted. So that's pretty raw. And then the green, they're still green. Got the outer coating. And these are really good actually as a medicinal treatment. You can take some of these and you grind them up into a paste, and there's a little protocol that you follow, but it basically clears parasites from your system. Raw pumpkin seeds. And it's one of the few things that I do once in a while. And since I was at Trader Joe's, I remembered to get some. And this is a pretty good sealed bag. This seal is not closed though. It's closed at the top, so I'll probably cut it open so I can close this properly and get some of that air out. But they can be transferred as well. And another good one to buy in bulk. That's a little bit messy. They're sticky. These are dates. And usually you get a better price when you buy from bulk. And these were beautiful, nice size, nice and soft, nice and shiny. So that's also a good source of sweetener. I like to put into, I chop it up and put it inside my oatmeal, or I cook with it when it recalls like a spoon of sugar. I'll just cut up a couple of dates, chop them really, really small, and it just dissolves. Must be getting windy out. I hear the chimes going off. So, for now, since I use these on the regular, I haven't stored. I need to go back to the sprouts and get some more of those and actually put them in a airproof, airtight bag and maybe freeze them. So for the moment, I'll just put them back in here. So the Hadley medjool dates that I get regularly, but the price has gone up like crazy. So I have 2 left in here. They're getting a little bit hard, so I'm going to take them out and put them on top. And then I'm going to show you this vacuum system that I have. Not really expensive, and it's a lot better than I expected it would be. Oops. And I think I'm going to get a lot of use out of it. So there. Yum yum. It's really nice to have with peanut butter and banana. It's a high calorie, that nice sweetness, and fills you up. Good snack. So let's see. Oh, I forgot to put these two on top. So I'll use them first. Take everything out of packaging when I can, just because I don't think it stays as fresh most of the way they're packed these days. So I got this system. I'm not sponsored, by the way, but this is called Chef Preserve. Chef Preserve. It's a vacuum sealer, and it is rechargeable. Fabulous. The best thing about new items that they're selling is most things are rechargeable. So much more convenient than having to have a cord or having to rechange batteries all the time. So this just stays in my silverware drawer, and then as I'm packing things, I'll use one of these bags. This one has actually been used a bunch of times and reopened and resealed and washed out. You can see it holds up very well. It's got a really good zip lock, and it really stays closed tightly. So I have probably about a dozen of those small bags, which are not that small. We'll put some stuff in there and I'll show you. And then I have, it came also with, I think, a dozen medium bags. So these are substantially bigger. And I still might get the large, a box of the large ones too for, you know, like flour or big bag of rice. So anyway, they come in different sizes, definitely reusable. They have a place on here that you can write on, or just tape a label on there. And I've currently been using it for frozen stuff, frozen veggies, because every time you take some frozen veggies out through the Ziploc, close it tight again, vacuum seal it again, so you could do it over and over again. And now I'm using it for the rice. And this is the bag that I'm currently taking from when I make rice. So it stays in the cabinet. I'm gonna move these things so I can show you. There we go. So you just get it on a flat surface, and you make sure that the zip is closed tightly all the way. Here. And then it says, keep pump away from liquids. So if it was wet or juicy, you just slide it over out of the way of the corner here. Take this one off, put it over there. And it will shut off automatically. And it shuts off automatically. Perfect. Check this out. It is solid, and it won't leak. I put some I peeled a bunch of bananas. I was going to make banana bread. And I didn't have all the ingredients, and I wanted to save the bananas. I was going to freeze them, but I put them in one of these bags, and I sucked the air out. And as an experiment, I just kept it in the refrigerator. And they were fine even 4 days later when I ended up using them in a smoothie, but the rest of them I put in the freezer. So it definitely extends the life of a lot of things. So this will stand up in my pantry, takes up no space. And when I run low on that, I have a big, big bag in my storage closet where I keep my bird feed. So I can fill up a few bags and put them aside. It's another one of my favorite things. And I will only buy them in bulk because they're very, very expensive. And I cherish them. I value them because they are a luxury item. That is cashews. Beautiful cashews. These are raw. Well, they don't call them raw, but they're unroasted. So yummy. And I am going to use some of it in different sauces. Vegan cooking, they use a lot of cashew to thicken things and to add fat and creaminess. So I'm going to keep these for sure in a bag. So let's see if this will fit. Could be smart and use a funnel, but here goes. And these are compostable bags, so I use these for my kitchen waste in a container, and then I put it in my compost pile. So I'm going to flatten it out a little bit. Close up this seal. It's good to do this on a hard surface so you can really make sure that tracks snap in. And then put this on here. Here we go. This toy. So there you have it. No air. And when I want to use some, I just open it, take some out, and then reseal it. If the power goes low, I have a little cord to plug in, and I can charge it off my laptop or my phone plug. Of course, always, the neighbor had to come by. I'm going to be leaving in a little while, so he's going to be taking care of the dogs. Charlie's going to have a play date with his buddy. So that's cashews. They're definitely not going to get bad. And the rice is done, and then I have some rolled oats. I bought this bag originally because this is a great brand for non-GMO stuff, organic. rolled oats. This is like my day-to-day oats, but I bought a big bag because I'm going to make my own oat milk, which is so ridiculously easy with a Vitamix blender. I have the Vitamix, and you just mix it with oats with water and put it through a nut bag to drain out anything that stays behind, but it's basically fresh oat milk. So I'm not buying oat milk anymore because of the stabilizers and the stupid stuff they do to it. So anyway, then I went to Sprouts. They have the bulk bins. I couldn't pass up getting some more because I know I'm going to use it for sure. Because I'm going to make, or I'm going to try to make, some vegan yogurt with oat milk and some with coconut milk. Making yogurt is so ridiculously easy. I could not believe it. And I just have to remember not to eat all of it because you use a little bit of that batch to make the next batch. Okay. Let's see if I can do this without making a mess. And I really want to get myself organized today, so I won't be home until tonight. And I want this place to be in reasonably good shape because tomorrow is the full moon. It's full moon in Scorpio, and I am a Scorpio. And it's a very intense time right now. And I'm switching out of a tumultuous 8-year cycle into what I hope is my reaping of rewards stage. And so one of my desires and excitements in life, besides all these animals and my garden, is making ASMR videos. I'm really hoping that I can just start making the content I enjoy and be more consistent and, you know, stay connected to you guys. So that's my happy place. Okay, here we go. It takes a second and it starts making contact. And if it doesn't start sucking, then you probably haven't got the ziplock closed all the way. Let's see. Oh yeah, it was still open a little bit. There we go. You can definitely feel it pulling once it makes contact. You can always stop it if you want to leave a little bit of air in there. But otherwise, I just wait till it stops. So there's the oats. Yay. Got my rice, oats, nuts, and these other beans and peas I'll do later. And I have frozen peas and corn. The last item is murasaki sweet potatoes. An exotic alternative to traditional sweet potato varieties. The murasaki sweet potatoes are an eye-catching addition to any plate. Striking purple skin enrobes lightly colored flesh with a chestnutty flavor and slightly fluffy texture that's at home in savory or sweet preparations. try the murasaki in place of russets, with butter of course, for a new spin on mashed potatoes, or grate them into a hash with sausage and peppers for a center of the plate feature. It's a beautiful purple skin, and I am going to be saving 3 or 4 of them to grow, so I can hopefully get some slips growing, get some roots, and then put them in the garden. I have some regular red ones as well, so I'll do a few of each. Yay! I'm gonna have a lot of good things to look forward to. Some nice meals, some comfort items if things get weird, and also stocking up on the animal stuff. Trying to put away extra bales of hay once in a while. Yeah, not out of any fear or worry, just if I can, then I do. And that's just smart, I think, not to have to drive to the store as often, and not to have to worry that I might not have an ingredient when I'm in the middle of things, which sometimes happens. So I'll be looking at lists of other shelf-stable ingredients and different things from the garden that I'll be able to pickle and can and freeze and otherwise preserve. What about you? Are you gonna try to do something a little different as far as, pantry stuff? Got stuff put away somewhere? I refuse to buy any of those, emergency survival buckets. That's probably good if you have a family and stuff, but I just know I'm a good camper. I have all my camping equipment always ready. I have a bug out bag with a little bit of medical stuff and a little bit of extra, like another pair of shoes and things like that, but that was from fire preparedness too, so it's good in case of earthquake or just in case of any reason that I can't get out and take care of things, because I want to always be independent, even though I can't seem to get away from my neighbor who's always got to come around. Alright, my dears, I think that's it today. I got almost everything that I bought, minus some frozen items and some things that I've already eaten. So I guess I'll get ready to put these things back and get ready to leave for a few hours. And then when I get back, I'm going to get this video up for you for the weekend. I hope it was relaxing and sort of reminiscent of my earliest videos where I did a lot of shopping hauls. Alright, so maybe a cooking video is in order now that I've cleaned my kitchen too. So I have to organize every single cabinet and shelf in this house because I have a lot of mason jars and a lot of other storage items that I've been just stockpiling over the years. And I think I should take them all out and match the tops and find ways of keeping them organized. They all have to be washed out because I'm sure everything's dusty. Alrighty. Maybe one of these days I'll actually be back on camera. I haven't shown my face in a long time because it's always like a snap decision to make a video. I can't be bothered to fix myself. It's the privilege of my age, my dears. I love you guys. I'm glad you're here.